Good.
Well, deer and other animals certainly can be unpredictable at any time of year, but this time of year especially, they might dash in front of the vehicle onto the warm pavement. There are actions that you can take to prevent a crash or reduce this potential damage from an animal collision, as Andrea White-Murdaugh recently found out.
Fall brings about many seasonal things, but one you may not be thinking of is deer mating season. Here to remind us about motor vehicle safety during the deer mating season is Mr. Morgan Dean, Senior Public Affairs Specialist for AAA. Hi, Morgan.
Hey, good morning. It's so good to see you today.
You too. It's always a pleasure to be with you. I am always excited to chat with you because you give me these topics that I have not been focused on that are very important for my health and well-being. So I'm excited to dive into this because it seems that over 6,500 motor vehicle collisions last year involved deer. And you're seeing some specific statistics about what that means for the fall timeframe. So how are you helping us to prepare for this particular season?
Well, we want to get you focused on not being a distracted driver. That's the first part. Of those 6,500 crashes last year involving deer, 53% of them happened in October, November, and December. So half of them happened in 1/4 of the year, if you want to look at it that way. Deer mating season just kicking off now. We start to see the cases rise here in October, peak throughout November, and then slowly come back down in December. But for the next 3 months, the most dangerous time for deer and car collisions for drivers.
So needless to say, there are quite a few insurance reports and claims that have to do with these types of collisions, especially those involving animals and deer. So what type of insurance should we be looking at, thinking about, aware of if we do have to make a claim of this nature?
We get asked about this at AAA all the time. People want to know, is it collision? Is it comprehensive? Collision covers things if your car hits a pole or a fire hydrant, another vehicle, those kinds of things. Comprehensive is actually what you need to focus on. That's what comes in to help cover any damage that you have from colliding with a deer, and it can be expensive. AAA Insurance reports the average deer-related claim in Virginia in 2018, $3,900. So that's expensive.
That is no small number right there. And the frequency along with the cost of it is cause for concern, especially as you start to travel more during the holidays and that type of thing. So what can we do as drivers to help ourselves prepare so that we can avoid these types of collisions?
So there's some things that we can do. You see the signs in and around the state that say deer crossing. Obviously, the deer don't read the signs, but the signs are there for a reason because there's been interaction between vehicles and pedestrians and deer in the past. So if you're traveling through those areas, you need to be on a special alert on those. In the morning and evening hours, that morning commute, the evening commute, 5 to 8 a.m., 5 to 8 p.m., they can be much more active during those times. We also tend to see them near roadways. And the big concern is that they can dart out very quickly in front of you. So if you do start to see deer in the distance, you want to start to slow down, give yourself as much of a chance to be able to stop and avoid the collision as possible. Also, what happens a lot of times when people come into contact with an animal, the first thing they want to do is swerve. That can be very dangerous for a couple of reasons. They can slam into a car that's traveling beside them. If it's traffic coming the other way, they can put themselves into a head-on collision situation, which is very, very dangerous. Also, if you swerve into the lane beside you, the deer's not sure where you're going to go. It might actually jump in front of you again. Best bet is to slow down as well as you can. If you can't stop and you know you're going to hit the deer, this might sound counterintuitive, but you actually want to let off on the brake. What that does is lets the front end of your car lift back up a little bit. If you have the brakes on and your car's coming to a stop with the front end down, that can actually pick the deer up and roll it up towards your windshield. And that can be a very dangerous situation for you and anybody else in the car, as well as the people behind you. So some things to think about as we are in the middle of deer mating season here.
Yes, very important. Very, very important. So if we do have the misfortune of hitting a deer, we've got about a minute left. What are the next steps? What do we do first?
You want to try and get your car off the roadway, especially at night. Put the hazard lights on. Once you are in a safe position, you want to call police. A lot of people are tempted to go over and check on the animal. That can be dangerous too, though. an injured or confused animal could cause you some serious harm. You want to get yourself to a safe place, wait for police to get on scene. Then you also want to reach out to your insurance company and let them know what's happened.
Such great tips, and you always have the best ones. AAA does a fantastic job of having the data and really keeping us informed. And we appreciate this because I think we can all, anyone that's driving a car, riding in a car, backseat driver, whatever you may be, it's important to know not only how to avoid this, but what to do in the scenario that it does occur. We thank you, and we are hoping that those statistics are going to be going back down for this year as it relates to those collisions. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
To learn more about how AAA Mid-Atlantic can assist you in your driving and avoiding collisions, be sure to visit our website at WTVR.com/VTM.